Taking a quick look at this ALLLIKE SN1000. So this is an interesting power station because they claim that they're using NCA batteries. I haven't seen a power station use NCA, and basically, if you don't know, NCA is it's like a more extreme version of NMC, right? I mean, it's like NMC on steroids. So yes, we do get more energy density, but the trade-off is, it's more volatile than NMC is. Even it's, the safety rating is not, it's not great. And so looking at the size and weight, in comparison, this picture here that they're providing is actually comparing it to a Delta 2, which is one of my favorite power stations. So the Delta 2 is about 1,000 watt hours as well, right? But it's about 26 pounds. So it is, 5 pounds heavier than this unit. And then as you can see here, the dimensions wise, it's quite a bit bigger too. But the thing is that I would say is this isn't like, I don't think this is really a deal breaker. I mean, 21 pounds, 26 pounds, it's a little bit taller, it's a little bit wider. It's not like, it's not the biggest deal in the world because actually the batteries that EcoFlow, Jackery, Bluetti, these newer LFP cells that the top companies are using, the energy density in those things is actually getting quite good. I mean, it's not comparable to NMC or definitely not NCA, but I guess if you really want the smallest thing possible that's still got it's still got a good size inverter. This thing's got 1,000. Well, we're going to get there. It's a 1,000 watt inverter. So if you want a 1,000 watt inverter in a small package, that's why you'd want to look at this product, right? But yeah, like I said, it's not, the Delta 2, for example, has 1,800 watt inverter. So yes, it's bigger, but it's got bigger specs. So, and the charging is much better. We're going to get to that too. Now, it's interesting that throughout this listing, they kind of compare this thing to a MacBook Air, which I don't know what that's all about. And so let's just talk about some of the better aspects of this unit, especially for 21 pounds and that small, compact form factor. 1,000 watt inverter, yes, pure sine wave that they do claim as well. Now, there's no mention of the actual surge on that. But still, if you get the right appliances, I've talked about this in a lot of my videos, you get the right appliances or you just check the specs on the appliance that you plan on using, you can do a lot with a 1,000 watt inverter. You can do almost anything, really, like I said, if you get the right appliance. And then, as far as the USB goes, pretty good stuff. We do get two USB-Cs that are 100 watts each. Now, they're not bi-directional, and then we do get a couple of quick charge USB-As as well. And then kind of nice that I really like to see on these power stations is there is a light on the back. So yeah, I like to see all that stuff. Now, as far as the charging goes, it's kind of a mixed bag. So from the wall, they're claiming 2.3 hours, and it's actually 450 watts going in, and there's no power brick, so they are using the bi-directional inverter, just the standard wall cord going into that. Now, to get, to the disappointing part here, solar, 8 to 10 hours, okay? 8 to 10 hours, so yeah, you're gonna be out there all day, basically, and it's gotta be perfectly sunny all day too, right, to charge this thing back up. So, good luck with that, and it's just, I don't understand really what happened here with the specs. So they're saying 120 watt is the max cap. It's just up to 30 volts, so nothing special. You're gonna have to hook solar panels up in parallel, right? And then 5 amps. So actually, you probably it'd kind of be a waste to hook panels up in parallel, anyways. 5 amps. So, and the weirdest thing about this is they're actually using an XT60 input here. I don't know if I can get over here. I can't. Well, it's down there. It's down here. I'll see if I can post edit this. It's down there. They got that little cover door just like EcoFlow. And there's an XT60 so that you can do 5 amps with. And just to talk about the design here real quick, I think it's actually quite an attractive unit. And it's gonna look good on your desk, honestly. The thing that they note is the side panels here, most of the case, in fact, is aluminum. So I do like to see aluminum on these power stations. It makes sense. as they mentioned, it makes it seem like a premium product. I can go with that actually. And the reason you want to see aluminum is it's the opposite of plastic, right? I mean, plastic's like an insulator. It's going to trap the heat inside. Aluminum actually helps to dissipate the heat, and these power stations, they create a lot of heat inside when you're using them. So it's just always a good idea. And yes, it does feel good to the touch. It just does look like a premium product. And actually, they've kind of gone above and beyond with this aluminum shell that they put on here. The way they have it integrated, it kind of like wraps around the rest of the power station. I assume kind of the inner part, some of the framing is probably still plastic, but just this design detail, the way it just wraps around the product, very cool. Now, obviously, the layout of this thing was inspired by the EcoFlow products. The only thing I don't really care for is I don't like that layout because you have the AC ports on the back side, right? And then all the other stuff's on the front. So to me, it's just better to have everything on the front side. But the advantage of this is the smaller footprint, right? You can kind of put this on the side of your desk, and it's not going to take up a lot of space, right? And then, to go back to this whole size thing, it's hard to tell the actual size of this thing because I think in a lot of these images, they're just using a computer rendering. So, it kind of just depends on how they inserted that into the picture, right? I mean, they could scale it to any size they want. I think maybe this image here is probably the most accurate one. And again, that comparison to the MacBook Pro, I don't know what that's all about. But yeah, it does look like a compact unit. And we do get, the handles stick up on top, but we do get a large flat area there. So you can, set a phone up on there or something like that if you want to do that while it's charging. The screen, nice colorful screen. Again, it looks almost like EcoFlow's screen. Some of these companies, they really copy a lot off of EcoFlow. Remember, it used to be Jackery, right? Like 4 or 5 years ago, everybody was copying Jackery. Now everybody copies EcoFlow. But still, at least this one has some unique design touches, right? I mean, they kind of tried to do their own thing. And I think actually this, you could actually argue that this looks like a more premium version of an EcoFlow product, right? I think it just looks better, honestly. So yeah, kind of an interesting product here from this ALLLIKE company. There's pros and cons with this thing. I think, if you want something that's compact, that's going to give you some big specs as far as, what it can do, the output ports, just, a lot of capability, and you don't really plan on using this with solar, I think I could see the appeal with it, and otherwise, there's other stuff that you might want to consider, but, again, you're going to have to probably have something that's a little bit bigger. Or you just go for a smaller class product, right? You just go for something that's just got lower specs, and you'd have something that's, even more compact, even more lightweight, but you won't have that inverter, right? You might have a 600 watt inverter, 800 watt inverter, but you'd probably get more solar. So, but yeah, I don't know, it's something to take a look at, I guess. And hopefully just kind of found this video helpful or interesting. And yeah, thanks for watching.